For most of us, our dog's 7th birthday just feels like another milestone, right? We get him a special treat, maybe a new toy, and we definitely take a bunch of pictures. But what if I told you that age 7 is actually one of the most critical turning points in your dog's entire life? Well, today, we're going to break down what's really happening inside their body at this age and explore a proactive strategy that could completely redefine their golden years.
So, let's get right into it. Your dog is turning 7. They look healthy, they're still playful, their energy seems totally fine. So what is actually changing that we can't see? Well, it turns out a whole lot. That 7th birthday isn't just a number on a calendar, it's a huge biological signal.
The experts, vets, and researchers, they call this the life transition stage. The easiest way to think about it is that your dog is basically entering their version of human middle age. This is the exact moment that switch flips from that youthful, non-stop growth phase to the slow, steady process of aging. And the most important changes? They're not happening on the outside where you can see them. They're happening deep, deep inside their cells.
So, what is this unseen threat we're talking about? Well, while your dog is happily chasing a ball at the park, a hidden battle is just beginning inside their body. It's this gradual pileup of cellular damage that, if we don't do anything about it, lays the groundwork for all those diseases we dread seeing in old age.
Okay, so the first part of the problem is something we can basically call cellular garbage. Imagine a factory that just slowly stops taking out its trash. That's what happens. Inside every single aging cell, damaged proteins and these little broken down power plants, the mitochondria, they just start to pile up. And all this junk literally clogs up the system, making it way harder for the cell to do its job.
And then there's something even, more sinister, and it's these zombie cells. Now, their official name is senescent cells, but zombie cells are a pretty great description. See, these are cells that are too old to work properly, but for some reason, they just refuse to die. Instead, they just hang around like bad neighbors, pumping out these inflammatory chemicals that damage all the healthy cells around them. They're a huge source of that chronic, low-grade inflammation that we now know is at the root of so many age-related diseases.
So, you've got cellular garbage and zombie cells quietly causing chaos. I know, it sounds pretty grim, but here's the really good news. There is a proactive solution. There's a way to step in before these problems spiral out of control into a full-blown disease. The best way to think of it is like a system reboot for your dog's entire body.
And this reboot is called a metabolic reset. Now, this isn't a daily supplement or some kind of magic pill. It's a periodic therapy. Something you do every 3 to 6 months, and it's specifically designed to give the body a chance to clean house. The whole goal is to remove those threats we just talked about, the garbage and the zombies, and to realign the body's metabolic engine before disease can ever get a foothold.
So, how in the world does it actually pull off this deep cleaning? Well, it's not magic. It's a process that's based on 4 core biological principles. So let's break down each step of this cellular cleanup.
Okay, here's our game plan. The process works by first activating the cell's own internal housekeeping crew, then flipping a critical metabolic switch from grow mode to survive mode. Next, it actively hunts down and eliminates those zombie cells. And finally, it helps to rewind the cellular clock on a genetic level. Pretty amazing, right? Let's look at each one.
First up is activating something called autophagy. The word literally means self-eating, and it's the body's natural built-in recycling program. During a metabolic reset, this system gets totally supercharged. Cells start actively seeking out all that cellular garbage, those broken proteins and faulty mitochondria, and they break them down for fuel. It is the ultimate deep clean.
Next, the reset flips a really critical metabolic switch. You see, our cells have a growth signal, which is awesome when you're young. But here's the scary part. It's the exact same signal that cancer cells hijack to grow like crazy. The reset turns this growth signal off, and at the very same time, it cranks the survival signal on, which tells the body, hey, focus on repair and defense. This basically starves any potential cancer cells of the fuel they need to grow.
Step 3 brings us right back to our zombies. The therapy is literally designed to selectively target and destroy these troublemaking senescent cells. By getting rid of the source of all that inflammatory chatter, the body's overall level of chronic inflammation just plummets, giving healthy cells a real chance to thrive without being constantly attacked.
And finally, there's this absolutely fascinating step that happens at the genetic level. Over time, a cell's genetic switches can get, kind of messy, causing it to act old. This is called epigenetics. The reset helps to clean up these switches, essentially reminding the cell how to express its genes in a more youthful, healthy way. It's literally like helping the cell remember how to function at its absolute best.
So we've seen how it works on a cellular level. But what does all that mean in the real world for you and your dog? What are the actual results of this kind of proactive approach? Well, the goal is pretty simple. A longer, healthier, more vibrant life for your best friend. By tackling aging right at its root causes, a regular metabolic reset can dramatically lower the risk of so many devastating diseases. I mean, we're talking about creating an internal environment that's hostile to malignant tumors, like lymphoma, clearing out the protein junk that can lead to dementia, protecting vital organs like the kidneys and the heart, and reducing the inflammation that drives arthritis and muscle loss.
Now, I know this all sounds incredible, but it's really important that we look at the practical side of things too. This is a significant commitment, and it's absolutely essential for any owner to weigh the benefits against the realities.
So let's just break it down. The pros, they're really powerful. You're getting proactive defense, you're targeting the root cause of disease before it can even start. You're maintaining your dog's quality of life, their energy, their mobility, and the effects are cumulative, meaning they actually get stronger over time. Now, on the other side, there are cons to consider. It does require a periodic financial investment. There can be temporary side effects, like a few days of just being kind of tired as the body shifts gears, and this is crucial. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It has to be precisely tailored to your dog's specific health data, things like their kidney and liver function.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really a message of empowerment. Look, we can't stop the process of aging. It's an inevitable part of life, for all of us. But we absolutely have the ability to influence the speed and the quality of how our dogs age.
And I just want to leave you with this final thought. A reset that started when they're 7 or 8 or 9, while they still seem perfectly healthy on the outside, is a massive investment in their future. It's about choosing prevention now rather than having to face much more difficult, expensive, and frankly heartbreaking treatments later on down the road. It's about giving them the best possible shot at a long, healthy, and happy life. Thanks for tuning in.